Yep, these are the random things photographers do, like get a perfectly good chair, stick it in the middle of their garden. Hello, I'm Gavin Hoey and you're watching Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama, the camera store that's got everything for us photographers, except perhaps random red chairs. But this red chair is going to feature in the video because I'm going to create something really dramatic by overpowering the ambient and providing my own light onto this chair. At least that's the idea. There will be some post-processing and we'll get to that at the end. But for now, if you haven't already done so, click on the subscribe button and the bell icon because I'm going to set a light up. Let's get a model in, let's get shooting. To help me out today, I've got the amazing Jade. Jade's going to be the model for this photo session, and you'll notice there's a colour thing going on here. So we've got the green of the grass, we've got the blue sky, we've got the red chair, so Jade needs to stand out from those colours, so she's wearing a gold dress. But before we get too excited about all the colours and what's going on, I need to get the exposure right without the flash. So I'm actually going to get rid of this flash just for the moment. We'll pop it out of the way. I've got something that's really important and its usefulness might not become clear until later on when we get to post-processing, but I'm going to put my camera on a tripod and I'm going to frame up the shot right now. So I need a really firm footing for this, so we'll get it nice and firmly embedded into the soft grass. There we go. Frame up the shot just like that, and I've dialed in some default settings. So I've dialed in my flash sync speed for my OM system OM1 250th of a second and my native ISO 200 ISO. I'm going to take a test photo and see if I've got control of the ambient light. Okay Jade, here we go, quick little test photo, no flash firing. Yeah, this is not looking good. We've got some work to do here. Remember, this is about overpowering the ambient, so I need to have a picture without any flash firing that's darker than I would normally accept. How can I change it? Well, I can't change my shutter speed. That's the maximum flash sync speed. If I go any faster, we get into the realms of high-speed sync flash, and that takes away flash power. We don't want to go there. Next is my ISO. Well, this camera will actually have a low ISO below 200 of 80. So that's a good start. And then there's the aperture. Let's try f16. Now, looking through my EVF, I can already see this is darker, but here's what it looks like. Quick little test photo. So this is about as dark as I'm looking for. Everything is a little underexposed by at least a stop, maybe a bit more. And remember, you can only add your own light into the shadows that are created by the natural light and your exposure. So we've got a good starting point. Now, this is really important. Do not move this camera at all. Leave it on the tripod. It cannot move for the rest of this shoot. Let's get the flash. The next thing we're going to do is bring the flash into the scene. Now you can see the problem straight away. If I put the flash really close to Jade, then it's going to be in my picture. So the logical thing to do is to put the flash somewhat further away, like that. There we go. Now it's not going to be in my picture anymore. Problem solved. Now obviously being that far away, we're going to need to really up the power. So we might as well put the flash on at full power and see what we get with that. So quick little test photo. Here we go, Jade, full power flash. And the end result is not what I was hoping for. That's not enough light on Jade. So how am I going to fix that? I guess one solution would be to get a more powerful flash, but this is what I've got, so this is what we're going to use. And my solution is going to be, well, put the flash closer and worry about the light being in the shot later. So the flash itself, the XPLOR400, it's quite a powerful light, and then I've teamed it up with a Glow 25-inch beauty dish. Ignore the name beauty dish, it's not a beauty dish because it has this outer diffuser, but no inner diffuser. That's going to help me to get the maximum power out of this setup. It's also closer to Jade, which means the light is not only brighter, but it's slightly softer. All in all, really good, but how bright can I make this, or do I need to make this? Well, we could do trial and error. I could just have this light set to half power because I still get lots of light and a reasonably quick recycle time. Yeah, and by chance that actually looks pretty good. I'm still getting the same darkness in the sky in the background because of course the flash doesn't reach that far. That's basically everything set up. So Jade, if you're ready, let's take a few photos like this. said don't move the camera, I really did mean it, and that actually extends to not zooming the lens during the session either. Of course, I really want to recompose this scene, and I can just keep taking pictures and not worry about the light stand, because I'm going to take another picture after this without the light stand in the shot. But speaking of worrying about things being in the picture, let's grab the camera from Jade, because you'll notice it's not on a tripod. If you don't have a tripod, you're not stopped from doing this. I'll show you different ways of removing various bits and pieces when we get to the end. I've also switched to my widest lens. I've got a 7 to 14mm lens because I want to do something a bit more dramatic. But let's see how this works first of all. Okay, Jade, quick little test photo, see where we're going. Here we go. So same settings as before, nothing's changed. Of course, now with the wide angle lens, the light stand and the softbox are really obvious in the picture, but it certainly looks dramatic. But there's one more light source that I want to include, and it's right up there. It's the sun. Now, there's one little trick I'm going to do, which is to put my aperture to f22, which is the smallest aperture I can dial in, and I'm going to deliberately include the sun in the scene, which is why I'm using the widest lens I've got. Watch what happens if you have the full sun in your scene. Remember, do this with a wide angle lens, never do this with a telephoto lens. Here we go, Jade. Where's the sun? It's up there somewhere. And that sun becomes an amazing starburst. Free starburst filter built into every camera. All you have to do is dial in your smallest aperture. Okay, so we've got a setup that looks quite exciting. Let's take a few photos like this. Jade, are you ready? Yeah. Okay, here we go. I knew the light stand was in every single picture I was taking, but I wasn't worried. In fact, it was quite liberating. But I did know the day would come when I'd have to remove them if I want to use the photos, and well, that's today. So I'm going to show you how to remove the light stands from the images using two different techniques. The first one is my favorite. It took some planning at the taking stage, but remember, I used a tripod. Well, this is one of those tripod images. So I'm going to come to Select and All here in Photoshop, and then I'm going to go to Edit and Copy and go back to this image. Now, this is called a clean plate image. It is basically all of the image without the light stand in the shot. So whatever it is you don't want in your picture, you take an image without that in, you make sure you edit these images in exactly the same way as you do your final images. They have to have exactly the same editing if you're doing raw processing. And then all you do is you go back to Edit and you choose Paste, and that will paste in one of the images with the object you want to remove. But because it's all lined up on a tripod, you can see how this is going to work. All I have to do is go to Layer, Layer Mask, Reveal All, get myself a nice big paintbrush that's the opposite color to the layer mask, in this case that's black, and paint. And away it goes. It's this quick and simple. Oh wow, that is definitely fun to do. The trouble is, the skies don't match because the clouds were moving. So I'm actually going to take the whole sky from the clean plate image in this case, like that. And you'll notice the power cables magically disappeared too. I might have done some preparation on these images, but I'll show you how to remove power cables in just a second. So that's it, done. That is the difference between having it in your picture and not having it in your picture. And obviously you can finesse it, but it really doesn't take much more time than that. So what about this image? This is an image where I used no tripod, freeform, wide angle lens. Yeah, this is going to take a bit more cleaning up. I've already done some work because, let's face it, you don't really want to sit here and watch me do cloning for the next few minutes. So I've started to remove the power cables. I'll show you the last little bit, which is over here. To remove the power cables, I'm just going to use the healing brush, hold the Alt key or the Option key on a Mac, and just draw over the thing you want to move. Keep moving your sample point so you get a nice original looking shot. And yes, I have chosen the easiest part to clone out because, well, it's a video and you get the idea. Okay, I could definitely do that better, but for the purposes of demonstration, done. The big thing is obviously the softbox in the image. Now to remove that, I'm going to make a new layer and then I'm going to go and swap tools to the patch tool. Now really important, whichever tool you're using, make sure sample all layers is turned on, and with the patch tool all you do is you very roughly draw around the thing you want to remove. Whoop, there we go. Make sure you've got it all, and then you just click and drag and drop that selection in a cleanish area of the image. Now there are some things you can change, structure and color, play around with those and you'll be able to fine tune the results. And with a little bit of cleaning, cloning and tidying, there it is, there's my final picture completed. Now, if you've enjoyed this video or you've got any questions, leave me a comment down below. Whilst you're there, you can check out the gear links to find out all of the equipment I'm using. Even this laptop will probably be listed down there. And of course, if you haven't already done so, click on that subscribe button. Oh, and the bell icon. Don't forget to click on the bell icon. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.